Good Thursday evening, everyone, and I'm student meteorologist Michael
And I'm
Auden.
student meteorologist Dylan Leith here. I don't know why you have the giggles. I mean, this isn't a repeat of the monster truck forecast from last Thursday, unfortunately.
And I'm probably excited because it is getting warmer. It is day one of our warming trend.
Day one. It's going to be nice for the next couple of days, back to about averages, just a little above average, but then again, pretty moderate, not the freezing cold and not 7 layers.
Oh, the entire eastern half of our country is basically going to have this weird warming trend where everyone is going to be basically 50 to 60 degrees warmer than they were on Wednesday and Thursday. So
Yeah, no, not bad conditions throughout much of the southeast and the eastern part of the country.
Yep.
The northern part of the country where they're seeing very cold conditions, well, things are starting transition.
Yeah.
They're getting a little bit warmer now.
yeah, and for us, we will actually see warmer temperatures next week. Actually good enough for some golf, I think.
Oh, of course we're going to mention golf in the first test. This is FSU weather, not FSU golf.
Yes, but it is going to be a really good Super Bowl Sunday here with the Patriots and Rams in Atlanta. Weather looks good up there as well.
You mean the Deflatriots?
Well, don't get me started on the Patriots, but it is looking pretty good.
Yeah, not bad conditions, but right now we're going to send things over to the wall with an overview with Sarah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We did start off on that chilly note, but the good news is we are warming up for the rest of the week. Right now, currently, it is 58 degrees, sunny with a bit of a partly cloudy skies, more of those high altitude light clouds, a bit breezy with 7 miles per hour from the east-northeast. Now, moving on to our satellite radar, nothing really fun going out there. We're kind of quiet out on the radar, just as I said, those high altitude light clouds. But as we move on into our national picture, we do have some areas that are more active. We have over in Los Angeles, over in Houston, we have some more areas that are showing some rain and also some snow up in north. But we'll have more on that if we get into our national forecast. But for tonight, going to be a bit chilly at 40 degrees, mostly cloudy. Still that slight breeze is going to hang around, but dropping down to 5 miles per hour. So make sure if you're going out and about, do have that jacket on hand. It will be a bit chilly. But then moving on in tomorrow, we are warming up, so that is the good news here. Tallahassee's going to be 61 degrees forecast for tomorrow high, and then 63 for Bainbridge, 60 in Thomasville, so pretty nice around the Big Bend area. Now for your headlines for the show, we are warming up for this weekend. And also we have rain chances coming in and increasing. And we also have your Groundhog Day forecast in store for you guys today. But for now, we're going to hand things over to Dylan with our first, or the Southeast, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sarah. Well, the graphics are being a little slow right now. We did try turning it on and off, but that doesn't seem to work. Technology just seems to have problems all the time. We're going to wait for those to pop up, but we're going to take a nice picture. Look, I think this is Bryant Hall behind me. Great to see the garnet bricks, and we got the almanac right now. Temperatures are definitely higher than before. And then we're looking at the, sorry, we're having a little snafu. We're playing the southeast right now. Sorry about that. Well, conditions are definitely warmer today than yesterday. I did this segment yesterday. So we're definitely seeing an increase and not as cold temperatures dipping down as far into the southeast, moving just a bit back farther north, seeing 42 degrees in Little Rock as the coldest spot on this map. So not bad conditions. But the thing that didn't really change from yesterday, well, dew points are still really dry throughout much of the southeast, and you might start feeling a bit of the dryness kick in, but you see a bit of moisture surging up into parts of southern Texas and just a bit of New Orleans. We're going to explain why in just a second. You start to see the center of circulation over here. There's a low pressure system sitting over the Gulf, and there's also another low pressure system sitting over farther westward. That's driving a lot of the moisture that's going to affect part of the southeast, but luckily, because we've been having a lot of river flooding that's been going on in Jackson and Montgomery as well, that's not going to be an effect. And here's our temperature change from yesterday on top of the cloud cover. So where you see a little less cloud cover right now, you see those temperatures increase into the 10 and 14 values. So we're increasing as the cold air moves up and the sun comes in just for a little bit, so not too bad. And as we go into the satellite radar, there's where all that moisture is due to the low pressure system driving moisture into the southern part of Texas. And luckily, though, you see this big mass of rain. Well, it's going to stay offshore as we put it into motion. You start to see it stays itself offshore, not affecting much of New Orleans, but it is bringing cloud cover over to the western part of the country. And with that other low pressure system, same over into the eastern part of the southeast. They're bringing some cloud cover there. But then high pressure digging in, making it feel nice and sunny for parts of Montgomery, Tupelo, and Atlanta. So not bad conditions for this weekend. Into tonight's forecast, though, cooling down a bit again, but still warmer than yesterday. See a bit of rain into New Orleans and Little Rock. Cold over in Atlanta. Clear skies, though, 31 degrees. So cooling off just a bit there. Here in Tallahassee, much warmer than last night. It was 28 degrees here. Well, we're going to get to 40 tonight, so that's a big 12-degree increase in our lows. Down into South Florida, though, they're going to still see some rain tomorrow. Nice, comfortable lows for this time of year at 65. And then tomorrow afternoon, you see the cloud cover really engulf much of the southeast, sticking around. But warmer conditions are persisting throughout much of it. Not bad going on. But again, great conditions throughout much of the southeast. And right now, we're going to send it over to Catherine, who's going to take a look at the local map.
Thanks, Dylan. I think the first we're sitting just below average today, and the temperatures are sitting just below average today, and our lows were sitting just above the record low that was set in Tallahassee, which was 14 degrees in 1966. So today's actual temperature was about 60 degrees, with the average being 65. So we're sitting at a pretty comfortable temperature, but if you were outside this morning anytime before 6 a.m., for people who do that, temperatures were about 29 degrees. So it was feeling pretty brisk this morning for Florida. And if we head to the next graphic, the current conditions sitting outside, 58 degrees and sunny, winds out of the east-northeast, so it's beautiful outside. If you're walking around outside, the sky is super clear. It's wonderful conditions out there to be out for the evening. We're going to take a look at our satellite and radar.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us. We've been just having some technical difficulties, but we're going to talk about what we're expecting into the weekend for the entire eastern U.S.
Yeah, definitely. We have some huge changes in store as we had rain from that cold front and brought all that dry air, which my nose is not very liking it. I've been using these tissues all day. Yeah. And then we also have more rain coming in, but also our temperatures warming up. Yeah. So it's going to be a bit rocky about what are we going to be, cold, warm? It's like a little bit of everything, I guess,
especially in the Midwest, where their wind chills were in the negative 50s and negative 60s, air temperatures in the negative 20s. Wednesday and Thursday morning. The high temperatures this weekend will be 80 degrees warmer than those. Yeah, so that's amazing warmth coming to the Midwest and the East this weekend. But
the good news is it will make a good forecast for going out on the weekend, as we have the Super Bowl. We also have Groundhog Day coming up here in Florida. So definitely if you're going out, here at least, it's going to be really nice. Yeah, we're going to experience 70s going into next week. Actually feel more spring-like. So, of course, Jake, AJ, and I, our lovely Thursday producer, heading out to the golf course to kick off Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, definitely. That'd be a good time to actually go out and do stuff. But for now, I think we're going to send things over back to the wall with our national forecast.
All right, thanks, guys. Good to see Michael still cannot go 1 minute without mentioning golf, but that's okay. We're going to have some fun this weekend right before the Super Bowl gets underway. Let's start talking about the national picture. I'm purposely standing in the way of probably the big story for really the entirety of the week, and that is the significant cold weather that is still going on in the Midwest. We see Chicago right now being, of course, my hometown, so some added significance for me. We're talking about 48 consecutive hours now of sub-zero temperatures there. We're at -5 with some snowfall occurring, piling onto some of the snow that's already accumulated in that area. We're going to have Dylan and Catherine on the desk later on talking about some of the cool stuff that was showing up over Lake Michigan and some of the other areas out in the Midwest. Other areas of Great Lakes seeing some sub-zero temperatures as well, including Minneapolis, which thankfully, though, is not quite as cold as what they've been seeing the last couple of days, where temperatures have been dropping into the -30s in some areas. In fact, the place in Illinois, in western Illinois, actually set the all-time temperature low for the entire state of Illinois this morning at -38 degrees. Some warmth further off in the southeast as well as in the western U.S. Relief is on the way. In the meantime, some dry air settling in over parts of the Great Lakes as well. The big areas of humidity across the country, as this dew point shows, is southern Texas with San Antonio at a dew point of 55, as well as, of course, southern Florida at 67 degrees on that dew point in Miami. A very interesting little picture right here is if you make the 7-hour drive from Miami across the state to Tallahassee, a 40-degree drop in dew point. Much drier air settling in over North Florida as compared to the southern portion of the state. That also holds true at the upper levels to some extent. Most of the dry air is further up to the north over, say, Atlanta, off through Birmingham, central Mississippi, and all the way off towards Dallas as well. And some of that moisture is starting to funnel in at the upper levels here behind that trough. That, of course, brought some of that significant cold air to portions of the Great Lakes as well. So now we're going to move into the temperatures here across the Great Lakes region. And again, we see these bitter cold numbers here, some spots below 0 degrees, but this is actually a big step in the right direction from what they've been seeing before, where Chicago yesterday failed to even top -10 for a high temperature and had lows dropping all the way into the -20, some of the coldest weather that they've ever seen over there, as well as many portions of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes as well, still down at -5 in Minneapolis. And you factor in a fairly strong wind still occurring out of the west in many of these spots. Wind chills still in the -20s in many of these locations, including Cedar Rapids, which really jumps out. Feeling like -27 degrees there, and that's not limited to just some of these smaller cities in Iowa and Minnesota. Detroit, Michigan, one of the biggest cities in the entire Great Lakes, feeling like a -22 degrees here as the sun has just gone down fairly recently. Wind chill warning still in effect for many portions of the Northeast, as well as almost the entire lower peninsula of Michigan, as well as winter weather advisories for the continued threat of snowfall in portions of Illinois, Indiana, as well as Ohio. We also see some winter storm warnings in association with lake effect snow. Now, if we look at California here, plenty of rainfall working into LA and areas off to the south towards San Diego and into some of the mountainous regions as well, where some of that is transitioning over to snowfall. So we see some more watches and warnings associated with that. A high wind watch in effect for central California, transitioning down into flood advisories off to the south of Los Angeles, not too far from the San Diego area here. We look for tonight's forecast here. The warmth sticks around as well as the moisture in parts of California. Temperatures should be settling in the 50s. And of course, that bitter cold will be sticking around in the Great Lakes, -5 in Minneapolis, -3 in Chicago, before finally things start to trend in the right direction before an anomalously warm start to next week in portions of the Great Lakes, where we could be seeing temperatures near 50 degrees on Monday in Chicago. Warm air settles in as well in portions of southern Florida. 77 degrees for that afternoon high tomorrow down in nice and sunny Miami. So now going to take things over to Sarah with our Florida forecast.
Thanks. Yeah. Here in Florida, we are really lucky that we are warming up here, because if you can see these temperatures, really different from what we saw up north. They're actually really nice over here. Right now, Pensacola is 55 with sunshine as they get more of that cloud cover more into central and south Florida. 63 in Tampa, closer to my hometown. And then a little bit warmer as you go down south. 69 in Miami and 74, the warm spot in Key West currently. Dew point right now, we do have a nice gradient right here. We have those drier-like temps, some comfortable dew points right here, and that's all because we have that wind in that clockwise motion as we have that high pressure system fueling in these winds off from the Atlantic, filling in that Atlantic moisture for the south. But up here in Tallahassee, pretty much dries. We have 27, so definitely have that lotion and that chapstick on hand. But for South Florida, it's going to be really comfortable down there for them. Satellite radar, we do see where, you can really see where that dryness is sticking around as we have clear conditions right now for the panhandle. But as we move down to central and south Florida, we do see that cloud cover, more heavier cloud cover. We do have some slight showers off the offshore on the South Florida, which I'm going to zoom into here right now. Most of that is really staying offshore. So most areas are going to be pretty much staying dry, but we might see a few showers start to come on, just some scattered showers, a few sprinkles, so nothing too crazy. Unless you're the Wicked Witch of the West, then maybe I would stay indoors. But other than that, not too bad here for South Florida. And then for tomorrow's forecast, pretty warm over there. We have some 78s. 78 in Homestead, 77 in Miami, so a really big difference as we're in the month of now we're almost in February tomorrow. I'm still seeing some warm temperatures down there, 74 in West Palm Beach, but still seeing some scattered showers and storms there. As we move on into Central Florida, a little bit near my hometown, we do see a little bit more of that cloud cover start to push its way through, but overall, Central Florida is staying dry, so that's the good news down there. And also further temperatures for tomorrow, a little bit warmer, pretty nice. I would like these temperatures a lot. So right now we have Gainesville at 68, Ocala near my hometown, 70 degrees, and then a little bit cooler up on the coast, 62 into Jacksonville, 64 in St. Augustine. Now moving into the Panhandle, not a surprise, the high pressure system is settling into that area, so clear conditions right now, maybe more of those high altitude light clouds, so nothing too exciting going around right here in the Panhandle. Moving into tomorrow's forecast, still It's kind of like Central Florida, a little bit cooler in some areas. We have 58 in Crestview, 61 in Mobile. But it's keeping that cloud cover, though, for most areas, partly cloudy skies. But overall, going to be a pretty nice night. And then moving on into tonight's forecast, we just see this wonderful gradient of the blue temperatures up in the panhandle, cooler conditions. And then as we move down south, we do warm up. So 45 Pensacola for tonight. So definitely make sure to bundle up if you're going out and about. But then we get a little bit warmer as we move into Tampa, close to my hometown, 55. And then the warm spot at Key West at 69 with, of course, some chance of those showers and storms. So definitely a nice night for most of Florida, definitely. But for now, oh, and for tomorrow, I almost forgot. It's pretty nice as well. You can do see these reds and oranges pop up into South Florida, so that's really cool. 65 in Tampa, and then Miami sitting at 77, and Pensacola at 60 as well. So overall tomorrow, warming up, pretty nice. Now I'm going to step off and send things over to Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. And it was a nice warmer day here around Tallahassee. And you'll see that current conditions should be right now in the upper 50s as the sun is now setting. And we are under mostly clear skies. Again, our graphics just a little bit sleepy today. Yeah, there you go. 58 degrees with partly cloudy skies as the sun has now set. That east-northeast wind still keeping in the relatively cool air, but those winds are going to shift as we head into the weekend, bring in much warmer temperatures Sunday and beyond into next week. Now, the current condition across the rest of the region, you can see clear skies in Thomasville at 52 degrees, a cool spot on the map, 54 in Valdosta, and 55 in Quincy and Apalachicola, also under clear skies. Dew points are still relatively low, so it still feels very comfortable out there and very dry, so you do need some chapstick and some nice face lotion when you head out in the morning and as well in the evening. But these dew points will gradually increase as we go into the weekend. It's all when these winds still coming out from the northeast, bringing that dry air. Once they become southerly, those dew points will increase and the moisture will return. But it'll feel more comfortable a little bit outside rather than very dry and very chappy outside. Now, satellite radar does show you we do have this low pressure system in the southern plains, bringing a little bit of moisture down towards the Gulf Coast of Texas, around Houston, also some moisture out towards Los Angeles. Now, locally, we'll just have to deal with a frontal boundary in the Gulf of Mexico this weekend. Should give a few showers, but right now, under clear skies, just expect the clouds to increase as we go into tonight and tomorrow, and then maybe a few sprinkles and drizzle this weekend. But it's going to be much warmer compared to what it was the last few days. FutureCast does show you how those clouds start to increase coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. So as we start out tomorrow morning, we should be under mostly clear skies with a few spots of drizzle along the coast down towards St. George Island and Apalachicola. And then as we go into tomorrow afternoon, we should be under mostly cloudy skies, but it should be a little bit warmer compared to today. So it will feel pretty nice outside and a little bit more comfortable compared to what we were feeling the last few days. Now for tonight's forecast, one more coolish night, 40 degrees here in Tallahassee under partly cloudy skies, 39 in our 39 in Bainbridge, 37 in Thomasville, so 30s up in our Georgia counties, but should lead to a very nice Friday afternoon with some scattered showers, but mostly cloudy skies around the region with temps in the low to mid 60s, 63 in Bainbridge, 62 in Tallahassee. For a 7-day forecast, we see that for Groundhog's Day, it will feel a little bit spring-like. 40% chance of just some drizzle and some shower activity. Very light, shouldn't impact any of your plans. That shower activity does continue as we go into Monday, but look at the temperatures just warming up, going to around 75, 76 degrees, and that does feel spring-like for a lot of great spring-like activities, and I think you already know what my favorite spring-like activity is. But for now, we're going to send it back to the desk with Dylan and Catherine.
He didn't say the word golf, but
You
we
just
all
said it!
know.
No, you ruined it! The moment. But,
He didn't even say that Groundhog's Day was this weekend.
you know,
Punxsutawney Phil.
Groundhog's Day is this weekend, right?
Yeah, I do know Groundhog's Day is this weekend.
Yeah, it's great conditions. But we're going to talk about something. We've been talking about the northern part of the country, seeing a lot of cold conditions. Coming out of Chicago, though,
Chicago.
we saw First of all, the steam over Lake Michigan.
Yeah, pull that video up.
Yeah, there it is. There's the steam over Lake Michigan. And do you want to explain why you're seeing steam? That's not fog, that's steam.
That's steam. It's because the lake temperatures, the temperatures of the water, are much warmer than the air, even though the temperatures of the lake are sitting at about 38 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's crazy that this
Yeah.
temperature difference causes this fog, or steam rather. It's steam. I mean, that's what most clouds and stuff, it's just it's water vapor in the air that's visible. It's just crazy to see all this wispy cloud-like features over the lake.
I also saw some videos of steam coming from some kind of power plants, and it was causing snow to form downwind, which is kind of almost the same thing that we're looking at here, but a little bit different.
Right. I mean, it's not turning into ice because it's over the lake, which is still warmer conditions than inside the city, where it's much colder. And then the next video we have, this blew my mind. I honestly was blown. You look at this and you think there's an accident that happened on the train tracks. No, they're setting the tracks on fire on purpose.
Yeah, I guess it's to melt the snow and keep ice from forming?
It's from the switch track, so obviously when a train has to go from one track to another, they have to make sure that it has the ability to switch from one track to another so the train doesn't go on the wrong track. So they need to set it on fire. This is on purpose.
That's pretty impressive that someone thought to do that. Yeah. And now I'm thinking too, what if the rails expand from the heat?
That's not a concern because they only heat it so much. They don't come out there and spray gasoline on it. It actually releases gasoline. It's part of the system that it's on. But it's definitely interesting ways to deal with this frigid cold.
Super cold temperatures up north, yeah.
Definitely. But right now we're going to sit over the wall with Jake with a local lifestyle look. No
monster
truck.
Yeah.
No monster truck this week.
Punxsutawney Phil.
No monster trucks, but of course Catherine spoiled it. Before we get to the Punxsutawney Phil forecast, of course, everybody's favorite time of the year, we got our other G word here, golf besides groundhog. For tomorrow, if you're gonna be getting out there, it's gonna be a pretty good day early on. We could be looking at the possibility of some afternoon showers though, so we're gonna see the increasing cloud cover. Later on in the day, temperatures getting to about the 60-degree point, about 54 degrees at noon. Not the worst day to get out there, but we'll see some increased warming over the next couple days beyond that to improve conditions a little bit. As for Friday night, 55 degrees, what we're looking at, a 40% chance of rain, nothing more than just some light scattered showers. Should not be too much of a damper on your plans, though could be a little bit wet out there at times. Winds out of the east-northeast at about 5 miles per hour. And of course, the Groundhog Day forecast, that time of the year where for meteorologists, the G and GFS might as well just stand for groundhog because everybody listens to Punxsutawney Phil and sees if he sees a shadow or not, meaning 6 extra weeks of winter or not. For us, it's looking like it's going to be getting much warmer after Groundhog Day itself. Temperatures climbing back up into the 70s. As for the day itself for Tallahassee, looking at 55 degrees as we start the day. Of course, Florida State basketball also in action at 12 o'clock here. Harrison and the gang taking on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. 60 degrees at tip-off at the Donald Tucker Civic Center as FSU's climb back into the top 25. Later on in the day, temperatures climbing up a little bit more into those lower to mid-60s. Still could see some scattered showers as that game is ending and through the rest of the afternoon. But again, nothing that's really going to ruin your day by any stretch of the imagination. As for the 3 days ahead here, Saturday and Sunday, continuing that warming trend with the still possibility of some scattered showers in the area. A high of 68 degrees on Sunday, and you'll see those low temperatures really climbing up here. These would have been some of our high temperatures over the past couple of days, so some welcome relief for us here that like the warmer weather. And here's that futurecast to finish things off here before we go into our final local forecast. As we work through the next, say, 48 hours or so, again, just the threat of some scattered showers, otherwise partly to mostly cloudy skies, will be sticking in our picture really for the next 3 to 4 days here while that warming trend really continues into the early portion of next week with those temps climbing back up well above average. Now to close out the show, here's Dylan with our final local forecast.
Thank you very much, Jake. And I'm going to be clairvoyant right now and tell you that the current temperature is 58 degrees. Humidity very low, though. We saw the drier conditions come in. Just a slight wind east at 7 miles per hour. So not bad conditions outside. It is partly cloudy. Oh, it says sunny. Well, it's not sunny at this time. It's nighttime skies. And I was right, 58 degrees there as your current temperature. Winds out of the east-northeast at 7 miles per hour, so not bad conditions right now. As we look at the satellite and radar, relatively clear for much of the southeast, but this is going to change as we get into tonight and into tomorrow as well. You see cloud cover come back. It is not this massive rain, though. That's going to stay offshore, so luckily we're going to be spared from a lot of the rain. Just only scattered storms right now. And you look into our area right now, only a little low clouds sticking around. More stronger clouds, bigger, thicker clouds that are going to block out the sun. Those are going to move through our area later tonight. And our dew points, relatively dry still. Your skin might be feeling it just a little bit today, but luckily moisture will be coming back into our area as we warm up just a bit, so not bad conditions ahead. And for your future cast, you start to see those clouds move into our area tonight. This is when you're going to start to see these thicker clouds, these larger clouds blocking out the sky. And these are going to keep us a little warmer tonight as that radiation is trapped in the ground or closer to the ground and keep us just a bit warmer. Tomorrow afternoon, though, waking up to mostly cloudy skies and scattered showers that are possible. And then into the afternoon, you still see the possibility of showers and clouds sticking around. Not the best day if you want to catch some rays, but still not bad conditions tomorrow. A little warmer, which is nice. Not going to need 7 layers just to deal with the 30-degree temperature in the morning, so not bad. For tonight, though, 40 degrees warmer than it was last night. Might not need the space heater tonight. Might not even need to turn on the heat tonight because it is not bad conditions for tonight at 40s. Nowhere seeing below freezing as we did last night. And then into tomorrow's forecast, clouds and rain are in the picture. It's Florida, folks. You're going to start to see the rain come back just a bit and clouds sticking around all day into the low 60s throughout much of the region. Only Perry sitting at 65 degrees, the warmest spot on the map. And then for your day plan tomorrow, if you want to know how to dress, well, you're going to wake up to 44 degrees in the morning, 57 degrees in the afternoon, and 60 by 4 p.m. But then it's going to be cloudy all day. So you don't want to put on sunscreen tomorrow because you're not really going to need it. And then for your 7-day forecast, look, Groundhog's Day is Saturday. Got 40% chance of rain, high of 67 degrees. Also, Groundhog's Day is Friday. 67 degrees, 40% chance of rain. You're going to see the rain stick around just for a little bit into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Then clear out for the work week as you get some warmer conditions, lows back into the 50s, so not bad conditions, and highs in the low 70s, mid to low 70s. Not the best conditions, though, for this time of year if you got some warmer conditions. Right now, I'm going to send it over to the desk with Jake and Catherine.
Thanks, Dylan. I think Groundhog's Day is officially Saturday, but folks up in Pennsylvania, I think Groundhog's Day is celebrated. It's a Pennsylvania Dutch holiday, and I'm from Pennsylvania, but I'm definitely not from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. It's out towards Pittsburgh. But I think folks up there are really hoping that the groundhog does see his shadow, which would indicate
the end of winter, the beginning of spring here, especially with that bitter cold that many of those areas across, Mid-Atlantic, Great Lakes, Upper Midwest have been seeing. We've talked about pretty extensively this week on the show.
Yes.
Thankfully for us, though, the warming trend has begun, as we've alluded to several times, and it is really on the way for the early part of next week. Yeah,
temperatures tonight dipping only to about, 40 degrees tonight. Still going to be cold in Tallahassee, but our temperatures increase as we head into Saturday and Sunday. 67 degrees for Groundhog's Day, and then into later next week, 75 degrees, 60.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We're well above average there. That's about 10 degrees above our average high for the early portion of February. Last February was a very warm one as well, so we'll see if we kind of repeat that trend that we had last year. We had something like 8 straight days at 80 degrees, which was, I believe, a record for here last February. So we'll see if we get into that territory, although I'm perfectly content seeing, after this recent stretch of cooler temps that we've seen, it's going to be nice to get back into those mid-70s.
Yeah, I am definitely not used to temperatures in the 70s for an extended period of time for February, but I'm looking forward to being at least in warmer temperatures.
Yeah, and before we finish up for the show, I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody that was admitted today to the Florida State University class of 2023. The first round of freshman decisions came out. And also shout out to my brother who's sitting out in the tech room with Lawrence, he just started here this spring. Happy to have him here with me as well.
I didn't know that was your brother.
FSU 22. I am feeling old right now.
Wow, yep, we're older than everyone.
Grad Student Squad. All right, well, you can follow us all over the social media spectrum. Here we are on Twitter. It's our most active social media platform at twitter.com/FSU weather.
And you can follow us on Facebook. We post something every day, right?
That's the idea, right? And then we also, you can be watching us right now live. Any of our shows are archived at youtube.com/FSU weather/live.
So if you want to watch us later, you can. And on Instagram, follow us, FSU weather.
Yeah, we don't really use that as much as we should, but we will make a point to actually get to that. Send us your pictures. We'd love to see all the cool sunsets that you get in Tallahassee. Anything else that's really any cool kind of weather we see around here.
Yes. We're looking forward to the weekend, right?
For all of us here at FSU Weather, meteorologist Jay Karstens.
And I'm Catherine Busick.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.